All
Let's
right.
go.
You guys getting a little nervous?
No, I'm ready for the stripper party. I got my stripper pole
What's
ready.
up?
Here we
What's up?
Yo,
go.
What's up?
you're here.
What's going on?
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Okay.
Doing great.
Long time no see, though.
I know. Had a lot going on back here. As you said, I had a lot
Yeah.
going on back here. But
Good or bad or both?
both. But the good outweighed the bad so greatly. The good outweighs the bad. I just wish that the bad would see how much the good outweighs it. You
Okay.
feel me?
Tell us about it then.
I'm getting money back here. You feel me? I'm getting money back here. I don't have time for the drama.
All right.
I'm building a
That's
nation
good.
back here. That's all I'm saying. I just
Hey, brother.
you know what I'm
Brother
saying?
YP.
60 bands again today. What'd you say?
Yeah. Hey, just to kick off the show, I want to publicly thank you for something that you did for me several years back. So back when my account was teeny, and you had this massive account on Instagram, on YouTube, hundreds of thousands of followers, I DM'd you. I said, hey, any chance that we could do a live together? And you gave me an opportunity to come on your show. And I gained a lot of your supporters onto my account. You got me kickstarted. And then we did another live, and I got to vibe with more of your tribe. And after we did those lives, I was thinking to myself, like, man, like, he didn't have to do that because my account was so small. Like, there's nothing for you to be gained from vibing with me, but you just like to vibe with me. And I really appreciated that. So I know you got deleted multiple times, and I called Chris, I called Crystal, and I said, hey, man, like, the least we could do is help raise awareness that YP is back at General Autzen. So if you guys could support the man who has done a lot for this movement, because
a tremendous amount.
Tremendous amount, because I just want to say this too, that, you know, it's amazing how you could do 99 plus things right, especially during our time of need in 2020 when all this shit was going on. Everyone was afraid. You came on YouTube, was talking mad shit, calling out the deep states, and you provided us with a tremendous sense of security. I remember that. And then whatever happened last year, people seem to want to hold on to that one thing that they disagree with, and I don't think that's fair. So I want to.
It wasn't even nothing major though. I got drugged. That was it. Listen to me. I'm minding my business. I'm minding my business in my house, minding my business. I'm building an army over here. Okay, I'm building a nation over here. I'm building. You know what I mean, I'm doing a lot of things over here. I have a state-of-the-art library. I get up I'm in the process of turning myself into, let's not use the term doctor because I don't want to be in court arguing over that shit. So I'm going to just say one of the greatest holistic healers ever. I got the fucking cure for everything over here. Fuck just STDs, everything. And I'm about to memorize and learn all of this shit. So I said that to say, yeah, I'm minding my business, but I do meet from time to time. I have a little fun from time to time because I'm a man. And somebody gave me something that didn't tell me that it had mushrooms in it. And I had an experience. I'm not going to lie. Now I'm going to tell you my experience. Now, listen, a lot of people might say that it's true or it's not true. But I feel like it happened to me. It happened to me. A motherfucker not going to tell me my experience. Schizophrenia don't exist. I'm not going for that. So I said to say this. Somebody gave me mushroom tea. Now, this was my experience. This person started fucking shapeshifting or some shit. Do you hear me? They started turning into another being. I don't know what the fuck it was, bro. You could say it was an alien. You could say it was a demonic being. But I feel like I exorcised the spirit out of my fucking house. That's a fact. I will argue with anybody about that. Now, boom. She started shifting. Now, like I said, y'all probably seen them videos I threw up on YouTube. Y'all probably seen them. Because I had to, for myself, document what the fuck was happening. Because in my mind, to me, I knew that I was drugged. So I'm like, I know in my mind, I'm not all the way goddamn right. Fuck what you're talking about. I'm not all the way right, pal. I know myself. So I'm like, let me start documenting this shit because I'm about to shoot one of y'all motherfuckers in a minute. And when I shoot your ass, I need to be able to explain this shit. I need to be able to explain this shit. So I'm not understanding why I'm seeing shit. Now, whether I was hallucinating or not, I probably could have been hallucinating. but I knew to myself that I wasn't right. I know myself. So to me, this bitch started turning into what I would call a reptilian. Now that bitch started shapeshifting into a reptilian to me. So that was my experience. Now, boom. As y'all probably seen on that video, I asked her, was she the police, the military, or the reptilian, or an alien? Because that's what the fuck I seen at the time. Now, long story short, I go in my kitchen. I start trying to like, you know when you drunk and you feel like, let me start eating food so that way it'll kind of soak up the alcohol. Y'all ever do that?
Like bread, like old bread.
Yeah, like eating bread, right? So that's what I'm telling myself. So I'm like, let me go try to eat some shit to see if I'm high or something, or if I'm drunk or something. Mind you, I just started smoking weed. I never did drugs all my life. So I'm like, what the fuck? So goddamn, after a while, after a minute, it's still not going away. I'm like, what's wrong with me? So I'm still trying to figure out what's wrong with me. So I go to turn around. Boom, I go in it's like I'm coming out of my kitchen and come through my living room. And she coming towards me in the kitchen. Boom, now we meet. We both standing right there. And it's like, whatever the fuck I'm seeing, right? Whatever the fuck I'm seeing, whether I'm hallucinating or not, I could have been looking into a fucking parallel dimension. Because this time, my first time I seen a being off drugs. I'm going to tell y'all another story after this. When I seen the devil off drugs. Somebody gave me X pills when I was young. And I didn't know. It was my first and last taking them. Why the fuck you would let me take X pills with you that young? I don't have a fucking clue. But I had an experience then too. But I said to say this. Boom. So we meet in the living room. And whatever it is, I can feel it trying to penetrate my aura. Like, I swear to God, it's like I can feel my aura on the outside, and whatever it is trying to penetrate my aura real hard. It's like think of like screwing a nail through a wall, like that kind of frequency. I can feel it trying to penetrate my aura. So now her and my ex-bodyguard at the time, okay, he asked me before, like, do you trust me with your life? Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't never had a motherfucker ask me a question like that. Never. And I done been to prison. I done been through, I done been through a lot of shit in life. You feel me? I might not be the hardest motherfucker in the world, but I done been through some hard ass stuff. I could walk through an environment that the average motherfucker can't walk through. Facts. So I said to say this. I'm like, bitch, what? You know, I'm like, bitch, what? Do I trust you with my motherfucking life? Yeah, but not that much. Like, that's a scary movie ass question. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's a horror movie ass question.
Scary movie.
Yeah, but they asked me that. He asked me that. So I asked her back. I'm like, do you trust me with your life? And she like, yeah, why? I'm like, remember you asked me that question? She like, yeah. I'm like, because I'm about to aim this gun at you, but I'm not gonna put my finger on the trigger. And I'm like, listen, you scaring the shit out of me right now. And everybody got shit they scared of, but bitch, I'm not. Right. I ain't never really been scared of no woman like that.
Wait, so are we talking about your baby mama or some other
person? This is somebody else. This ain't my. That's my. It's not my baby mama. This is somebody else. But I'm like, just explaining what happened, what's been going on back here. So I'm like, you scaring the fuck out of me right now. You're scaring the fuck out of me. So I'm like, do you trust me with your life? She like, yeah. I'm like, do I have your permission to aim this gun at you? She gave me permission to aim that gun at her ass. So I aimed the gun at her, but I had my finger off the trigger. It was my bodyguard gun. I had my finger off the trigger. And whatever it was, and now in my mind, I remember when of course, I read books. So in my mind, I mean, when I was in prison and I turned towards Buddhism, I remember I told myself, it will kind of help me get over my fear of spiders. You feel me? And I ain't gonna say I'm completely over them, but I'm not as fearful of them as I was. And what helped me get over my fear of them is because I remember when I was in prison and I was studying them books on oneness, I remember telling myself, you're really just afraid of the unknown. And I'm not really afraid of spiders because if it's oneness, we really are just afraid of an extension of ourselves that look different. You know what I'm saying? We are interconnected. We just different versions of one source. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what. So now that understanding came to me in that moment. Again, it came to me, and I was like, even if this bitch is an alien, I'm scared, but I'm not being attacked.
Yeah.
So I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I really can't shoot you, bitch, because technically you're not attacking me. I'm just scared as a motherfucker. But I haven't been attacked. I'm just afraid of something I never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw my left arm out, and I got the gun right here, and I'm telling myself, as long as this bitch don't lunge me, I'm not gonna grab that trigger. But bitch, soon as I feel any contact on my arm, I'm gonna blow your motherfucking head off. So that's what I told myself.
Right.
So now I feel the being penetrating my aura, and as it's getting through, it's like I can feel it. I'm telling you, I can feel it in my inner self. It's like I can feel this spirit trying to penetrate my fucking spirit, like it's trying to penetrate my aura. And then I just told myself, I'm like, don't fear. And when I said that, she passed out and she pissed on herself. I swear to God on my life. Now, I got maids in my house. The maids probably could have cleaned that shit up by then. But if the police would have came in here right then on the spot and DNA tested right there on the spot, it would have been piss on my floor and it would have been piss on my second sofa. Now, peep game. When I said, no fear. When I said that to her, because I felt the being trying to penetrate me, swear to God on my kids, on my dead man, bro. She passed out. And when she passed out, whatever it was, that shit went through my ceiling. I swear to God on my life. That shit went through my ceiling. And that bitch passed out in my living room, and it was piss on my goddamn floor. And she was laying in her own piss. Now I jumped over her. Boom. I jump over her body on the floor. I jump over her body. I go sit halfway up my steps. Now, while I'm halfway up my steps, I'm aiming the gun at her. Now, I went halfway up the steps because in my mind, I'm like, this might sound crazy, but in my mind, I'm like, bitch, if you get up and do some Exorcist Emily Rose shit in my house, I'm going to air you out in this motherfucker. I'm going to air you out. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you got to come straight, and then you got to come around the corner of the steps. So that's going to give me enough time to aim your ass. So, bitch, if you don't get up and come flying, bitch, I got enough time to aim at your ass. So, goddamn,
Right.
as I'm sitting on the stairs, I'm calling her. I'm like, Jocelyn, Jocelyn, Jocelyn. She not getting up. I'm calling this bitch's name for like at least 2-3 minutes. Swear to God, I'm like, Jocelyn, Jocelyn, Jocelyn. I keep calling. I'm like, Jocelyn, Jocelyn. She not getting up. So
Right.
I come down the stairs, and I'm like kicking and tapping at her. But I still got the gun aimed at her, but I got the gun aimed at her legs because I'm like, it's not a vital shot. It's not a vital shot. So I got the gun aimed at her legs. So I'm like, Jocelyn, Jocelyn, Jocelyn. She's not getting up. I'm like, Jocelyn. I'm calling her. She's not getting up. So I grab her with my left arm, drag her around the couch. I throw her on that second sofa. Now, when I throw her on that second sofa, I back up to my entertainment system. And as I'm backed up to my entertainment system, I got the gun aimed at her legs. But I'm backed up because in my mind, I'm like, I don't want this bitch to wake up and think I did something to her. If this bitch wake up. So I'm backed all the way against the entertainment system, but I got the gun at her. I'm still calling her. I'm like, Jocelyn, 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 Jocelyn. She not getting up. So finally she get up. And then when she get up, I'm like, yo, the first thing I asked her is, bitch, you passed out and you pissed on yourself, right? That's how I'm like, bitch, you passed out and you pissed on yourself, right? So she like, really? I'm like, yeah. So now I'm like, look, I'm not gonna violate. I touched her with my left hand. I touched her. I'm like, look, like you passed out and you pissed on yourself. So goddamn, she said, you did magic on me. I'm like, bitch, I ain't do no magic on you, bitch. I never touched you. Don't play with me. Like, don't play with me. I'm like,
were you still very paranoid at this time with the mushroom?
Yeah, this is all in the same moment. This is all in the
So,
same
like,
moment.
my question is, up until she passed out, was she looking like skeletal or reptilian the whole time?
Yeah, she looked like a reptilian, bro, but it left her. I seen it leave her body and go through the ceiling.
And then she passed out, like right at that.
It was in one moment. It's like as she was falling to the ground, the shit was leaving her body and going through the fucking ceiling.
What was in the cup that this person gave you?
Mushroom tea.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I never had it before. I guess I don't know if she boiled mushrooms.
Crystal, you never done psilocybin before?
Huh?
Me.
Psilocybin is not going to do that to you.
I know, but
I don't
he's
know.
saying he
And I
did
didn't
the
did
mushroom.
shrooms. Listen,
That is not psilocybin. That's for depression.
I never did. Listen, I didn't did shrooms before.
All right, so
shrooms
so I imagine you're not doing that again.
Shrooms?
Yeah, you're done with that.
It wasn't the shrooms, bro. Listen to me. Listen to me. Do you hear what I'm telling you?
We're listening.
Listen to me. I didn't did shrooms before. I didn't ate edibles before. You come back. That shit wasn't no goddamn whatever the fuck that shit was.
It was some other.
Yeah, that wasn't no goddamn motherfucking shroom. That shit fucked me up for a long ass time.
What's that mean, a long ass time? A couple of hours or a couple of months?
Minute. It took me a minute to kick back.
But what's a minute mean? Like
months.
Months. Okay.
It's not like
was that when you were creating the content, like the police are coming and then you had your homies at your place? Like things were getting really weird.
Listen, they came after that. It wasn't then. It was before. They came after. So it was just when that happened, it was just me and her in the house. It wasn't no police around. It wasn't.
No, but he's saying when we were on the live the last time, like months ago, you were talking about like the police incident and all that stuff. So did that happen after this whole thing?
Yeah, that happened after I got damn live.
Some people are saying acid. Do you think it could have been acid? Because I know people that got stuck in a trip from acid.
I don't know. I don't do drugs. All I know is when my man pushed up, when my man Qua pushed up, I already knew Qua before that. I already knew Qua. Qua is very smart. Me and Qua talk on an intellectual level. I already knew him. When he pushed up, all I know is he had some weed. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm stressed the fuck out. I'm trying to tell him, I'm trying to convey to him what happened. I'm just trying to convey to him what happened. Now, from that point on, goddamn, she like, no, you shouldn't hit the weed because you can't have no drugs in your system. But in my mind, I'm like, it's just weed. I don't give a fuck if I got weed in my system. It's only fucking
whatever that was in your system.
Yeah, but whatever the fuck, huh?
Did you see this person after this whole thing happened, this female?
Yeah, hell yeah. I told her ass to come back. I had her come back.
For what?
Come back. Because I wanted to see what the fuck was going on. I wanted to see if she was the goddamn police or something.
Right.
So what happened with her? Did she shapeshift again? Like what happened?
Nah, she wasn't. She just might have been a stupid ass bitch. But she might not have been the police. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So how many times did you hang out with this person?
Multiple times.
Even
to check and
even after
come on, Pharaoh, seriously, why?
Because I had to make sure she wasn't trying to kill me or something. Because I got a lot of knowledge up in this motherfucking house. It's a lot
I believe that.
You know what? I'm no disrespect, but the government will get you.
So they will though.
I had to make sure you wasn't like. I'm gonna just be honest. I had to make sure, bitch. Is we doing it or we not? Because I didn't know what was going on. Is we doing it or we not? Because like I said, I didn't been to. I know what could really happen to your ass. Period. So I'm like, I don't play them type of games. So I had to make sure I ain't know. All I knew was, oh shit, I'm drugged. What the fuck going on? What the fuck going on? Okay, ain't nothing going on. We can all go back to and I can go back to getting because I'm opening up a bank. I'm over here doing big shit. I don't got time for it anyway. But I had to make sure wasn't nobody trying to get me. That's it. It's human trafficking. It's all kind of shit going on. But you know what I like? Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, YP, here, let me ask you something. So what I'd love to know is when I first discovered you a couple years back, you were talking about African ancestry, the real legit ancestry, true history. You were calling out the deep state, going really deep into the politics and calling out a lot of shit. And you have this unique ability to explain things in a way that's very entertaining, funny, but very powerful as well. And then something happened last year. And I got to be real with you, man. I just don't see like your content being the same. Like, the other day you posted your negative STD results. You got a lingerie stripper pool party happening, which Chris is going to come down and hang out with you.
He might. I don't know. It might be ladies only. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm about to live my life a little bit. I feel like I work hard in my hard work here.
I know,
you know
but you know what I'm saying? Like your content changed a lot. So a lot of people are confused as to what's going on.
Listen here. I got over 1,000 videos on that university. Over 1,000. Even listen here, Harvard professors didn't want to debate me. We can all go to Harvard right now. We could go right now. That's a fact. Harvard professors ran from me in debates on Egypt. There's not nobody on the planet Earth that know more about Egypt than me. So I feel like I've been teaching for damn near 10 years straight with no break. People could leave me the fuck alone and let me go enjoy my motherfucking life. And I've been teaching on a level that y'all not teaching on. Y'all not teaching on a level where the CIA is fucking watching you. So
is that why you've like pulled back from that content specifically? Because you've literally been
I'm still gonna do my thing, but it's like I keep getting deleted. It's stressful. It's like
No, I hear you.
Y'all not the motherfuckers that gotta keep rebuilding, trying to rebuild a platform.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, after you just got deleted at 560,000. No, it's like,
Yeah,
fuck
that's
that. I'm like,
some shit.
and then another thing is when it came to vlogging, right? I'm gonna just bring this up one time. When it came to vlogging, I never wanted to do the vlogs. That was never my idea. My people at the time wanted to do the vlogs. But I said it to say this. That's all I ever did anyway, originally when I was by myself, because I came up by myself, little do people know. Before any relationship, I was already at damn near 50,000 subscribers on YouTube doing my thing. So I said to say this. All I was doing was gaming and doing lectures anyway. I'm tired of doing lectures.
Right.
I'm building right now. Like, I'm ready to get into the world and be a real life humanitarian. I'm not somebody who would just be I could, but I'm not just wasting my life. It's not like I'm partying my life away. I have a schedule that works for me. It works for me. It may not work for the next person, but it works for me. I'm not out here committing crime. I'm out here getting money and doing shit that's positive in the community. Period.
I know, but listen to me. I respect you, right? And I just want to just say this out loud. But your content, you know, I'm wondering what kind of value it offers to people. Like, everyone has to, you know, at least give something of value out there, educate and empower, and then they follow you, they want to support you. But I'm seeing more of like, hey, this is my new car, this is my new album. You know, I'm not seeing your content being for your tribe like it used to be. And I think if you gave a little bit of that, I think you would win a lot of your audience back.
It's all right there on the university. Listen,
I know, but a lot of people. But brother, a lot of people dropped off from your platform. A lot of people dropped off after whatever happened last year.
A lot of people dropped off from my platform. That's true, but I keep also getting deleted. It's not my fault that people dropped off my platform. So my thing is, my issue is not that people dropped off my platform. You can drop off my platform if you want. I have multiple business ventures. I can go in a lot of directions. My thing is, I don't have the energy to keep trying to rebuild something that people keep deleting. So fuck that. Fuck that. Either go to, like, I'm like, y'all not the ones staying up for 2 days in a row. You ever read a fucking book for 3 days straight? No. No, motherfucker. You have not. You ever read it? No, you have not. So whether you got the time to do it or not is arguable. But the point is, half y'all motherfuckers wouldn't try it. So y'all not the ones living in a library, pretty much. I love to read. I love information. But I'm tired of studying. It's like, imagine going to school to be a doctor, but you never took a break off. You never took one of them, whatever they call them. You never took one of them summer
sabbaticals.
What'd you call it?
Sabbatical.
I never took a sabbatical. I never took that. I've been doing this shit since before y'all even see me publicly in a prison. So my mind is filled with knowledge. I know enough shit to, if I didn't want to come back in this library probably for 5-10 years, I probably could survive outside. So my thing is,
your stance is, since the information is already on University, it's all out
go
there.
Here and let me go over here and make this money and do what the fuck I'm about to do. I'm building a bank. Leave me the fuck alone. Go over there and watch one of them videos. Everything has been done for you. The shit is right there. The goddamn information is right there. Where it came from is right there. Do whatever the fuck you gonna do with it. I don't give a fuck.
But Pharaoh, like, so you don't consider yourself, like, before you were a content creator. So maybe now what you're doing is you shifted your focus to something else that's not content creation. And a lot of people don't understand that. But also, Pharaoh, but a lot of people don't understand someone like you. There's a lot of comments in the section that people are saying he's crazy, he's this, he's that. But when you have a different level of understanding and intelligence, like, that's obvious. We know that you've been doing this way longer than any of us have been fucking doing this. So we're just trying to understand, like, where you're coming from, where you're headed, where you're going, and, like, how we could support that. Because your experiences that you've had, like, there's certain people on this planet that have had those experiences, and most people won't believe that. Like, oh yeah, this person witnessed it, this person shapeshifting, or this person, you know, can astral travel and go into different realms of existence. That's not normal conversation to have. So automatically, people are going to assume that you're fucking insane. So I'm here to just say to you that I love listening to your stories because they sound outlandish to people that don't understand or never experienced that. So it sounds insane to people. But it's also a level where in this day and age where this big awakening is happening, that people can maybe learn something from these crazy experiences that you've had, whether they think they're crazy or not.
Yeah. I don't mind talking about them as long as people stop playing on my top. That's it.
What does that mean?
Stop playing with me. Like, don't stop calling me crazy. Stop. It's a lot of weird things people doing back out here in the street. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't mind teaching people when coming to the street, but don't play with me on the street. That's all I'm saying. I don't play them games. I don't play them type of games. I don't play them with. But yes, you are correct, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. But you are correct.
YP,
Yeah.
let me ask you straight up. What was the last year was a very challenging year for you. Losing platforms that you worked your ass off for on multiple platforms. It's you're right.
Yeah.
And then you had your family conflict, which we don't need to get into, but what would you say is like the most important lesson that you've extracted from 2021, from your personal experience with the people, your family, everything that happened?
That the most important thing in life is to try to be a righteous person, because it's beings on another level that's watching everything you do, even though you think they're not. That's always that's the lesson that I got read. I ain't gonna say I ever forgot it, but that's what helped me change my life in the first place. And that experience is what reminded me of why the fuck I'll live a certain way. That's the biggest lesson.
In hindsight, do you think that maybe with your family and the way you handled your audience, maybe you could have done things a little bit differently? I think some people are still kind of holding on to that a little bit,
Yeah, I could have done things a lot bit differently, but I feel like I did things in a certain way because I feel like a lot of people are not paying attention, and they're so far behind in life that you got to do literally anything to get their attention, just to catch them up. I feel like I've taught so much information over the years that it would be impossible for me to sit in a room or it would be impossible for me to duplicate what I just did. It would be impossible. So I had to kind of act a little frantic to give many understandings at one time while catching people up, because we got people at super low levels of society, and I don't have to, it's just people are not paying attention to what's going on in the real world, and they just need to, they just need to catch up. So, but yes, I do agree. It's a lot of things I could have did different, but given the circumstances, I felt like I did the best I could at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I agree. I agree with that.
Appreciate that, man. Chris, you've been silently observing or judging. I don't know what you're thinking, man. What do you got to say?
Not judging. So what I'm finding very informative and just interesting is I've been kind of seeing the comments, and I noticed that there seems to be a big discrepancy, or at least on average, of people who have the, kind of what Crystal was alluding to, people who really think that his story is that far outside of the realm of incredulity, possibility, or frequency that it actually happens.
Yeah.
And I think that I find your story fascinating because I've listened to a tremendous amount of people's experiences, and I'm convinced of one thing, if nothing more, that these substances, be they shrooms, LSD, or whatever that was in that tea, are not really, the word hallucination is the red herring. I don't believe that anything that doesn't exist exists in someone's head. That doesn't make any sense. So I see it, and other people have spoken on this before, as much more of a perception permission slip, right? Perceptibility permission slip, right? And if that permission slip allows you to more clearly or more intimately or more colorfully or more fractaloidally, or I don't know, whatever adjective we want to throw into it, experience a situation, especially when it comes to an interpersonal situation, right? Digital communication is cool, but up until 20 years ago, everybody who talked in person with that vibe. So what one man experiences in his real life, tea notwithstanding, is as real as it needs to be for you to consider what he's saying, especially if his track record has proven that he is knowledgeable and has educated people on things that would be a threat to certain people who tend to pretend like they got some blue blood. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, and I've been a fan. I've seen your videos years ago. You used to have me cracking up just about how passionate you are. I was like, I like passionate people, right?
Yeah.
But I think that everybody finds a time where this race toward the truth ends up checking you.
Yeah.
Like when you step from junior varsity to varsity, or when you step from varsity to college, or college to the pros, right?
Right.
You get that first, like, that elbow that lets you know, like, oh, wow, I'm playing. Okay, that one, oh, that kind of hurt a little bit, but I got to keep it in, right? Because
Right.
this is how the big boys play, right? You're not,
Yeah.
if you're worth sitting on the bench, you're on the bench. If you're
Period.
worth being in the game, you're getting recruited if you're not already signed on a contract of truth and of guidance and of discernment and of all these things that a lot of people just frankly are lacking. And so I was unaware of a lot of the drama. I'm kind of like hearing back on it, but look, if I saw what I saw, if I saw what you saw, you know, like, and again, I'm willing to take every man's word at his word, right? Especially when it only has, it only stands to besmirch or tarnish one's own reputation by admitting some of these sensitive things.
Right.
To really teach people. This is why, like, me working in California and Hollywood has given me the perspective enough to know I know stuff like that goes on. I know other people who have experienced that exact same thing. I know about the ink pen with the name in blood. I know that this is not just a metaphor. And I know that certain teas and tinctures are passed out at those meetings too. So that's not even like an anomalous story. But I just know how the truth is given, I believe, bestowed to us from above, from God. And I like what you were saying earlier about living righteously, and righteous living being what discerns that. I always just ask people, whose barometer, or by what barometer is that? You know, how do we, that's the pivot point, and then we start from there. But I respect everybody who is willing to stand up against what's just obviously the most evil form of control closing in on everybody. And the people who score points are the ones who get elbowed the next week. We all played street ball before. I mean, that's not even street ball. The prep kids do it too, right? Yeah. You score a point on them, they elbow you the next time. You got a bruised rib, but you scored 20 points and y'all won, so you take it to the chin, because that's how sports goes at the high level. So I just look at it like a bruise, brother.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. That's true.
By the way, I want to ask you real quick. Your lives are inspiration, just so you know. And for the people that watch my lives and you guys enjoy the stuff that I do, this guy has been my role model. I will watch you. You're the only guy that I could watch from beginning to end, 2-3 hours. I'm just mesmerized by how you're able to just free flow and talk all this mad shit and keep it super entertaining.
Yeah.
Thousands of people used to be on your lives, and I was one of those, man. So I was wondering, like, are you planning on starting to go on some lives again, or are you done?
I'm blocked. I can't go on live. I stay blocked.
Oh, for real?
I can't. Yeah, I can't. I ain't been live all this time because I've been blocked.
I see. Now, Crystal, you came out with a post recently about Operation or Project Bluebeam, about this potential alien invasion. And Brother YP, I know that you were abducted by aliens many years back.
I was abducted before by extraterrestrials multiple times since I was like 5 years old.
Okay. Do you find it interesting that now the media and the government are insinuating that we might have a fucking alien invasion? Like, what do you make of this?
It might be real, or it might could be if they're trying to use the 4D to act like we getting invaded by aliens and it's not really real, because they got that plan too. So who knows? We just got to ask them: is it a real invasion or not? Before people just react. I could come to your house right now and be like, I just got jumped up the street, and you come out the house flying and shooting at people, but I might be lying.
Right.
But how can you tell the difference, Pharaoh? How would people be able to differentiate?
Ask they ask. Put me on the news.
Who? Ask who?
Huh?
Ask who?
The government. Put me on the news and let me ask them. Are we really getting invaded by aliens or not? Or don't put me on there. I don't know, but I feel like I'm just about to start enjoying my life. And if aliens come attacking me, I guess we was getting invaded. If they don't, I guess I'm enjoying my life. But what do y'all want me to do? Y'all not listening. People, ain't nobody listening.
But it's bizarre. It's just bizarre that they're talking about it in the mainstream news, and there was a Senate hearing about some unidentified flying objects.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's very weird. And Crystal, you said it best on your post about how they're kind of like normalizing this thing, trying to get us like prepared for something.
They should.
Right.
I mean, they should be letting the public know that extraterrestrials exist. But I think the public should also know that extraterrestrials have existed for thousands of. They've been up here, and if they wanted to take over the planet, they would have been damn did it. So I think people also need to understand that y'all getting caught up on a lot of stuff. But I don't think nobody should start wilding out. That's all I'm saying. I just want people to know that, don't start wilding out, and have a conversation about what is the true seriousness of what y'all talking about, because it's been going on all this time. How serious is it? What does it take to stop it, if it could be stopped? Who causing the problems? What's the problems? And we should conduct ourselves in proper procedure. That's what I'm gonna say, proper procedure. But go ahead, Crystal.
What I was going to ask you about is inner Earth. Is there such a thing? Is the Earth? Okay.
Yeah, you can go to the Earth through the pyramids. That's how you get down there. That's how you get down there.
Have you ever
There's
been to
tunnels that go all the way down to inner Earth, correct?
Yeah. No, I never. I'm about to go though. I'm about to go. But like, it's a certain person over there I don't really trust that much. So when I go, I gotta go how I gotta go. So, but I say that to say this. Yeah, but in Egypt, in Egyptian culture, it's called duat. So some of y'all may know it as Agartha. I'm just gonna as Agartha, but it's also known in Egyptian culture as duat. And you know what? I never been down there, so I gotta say they say, according to literature, but they say it's real life dragons down there. And I want to go down there and talk to it. I might want to talk to one of them goddamn dragons. You know what I'm saying?
So I've been inside the Great.
Huh?
I've been inside the Great Pyramid. I've never been underneath, but I did go inside it. And I was told, I was on a tour to view the tomb of the pharaoh that commissioned that particular pyramid. I remember it takes about 15 minutes to crawl. Half the time you're crawling, it's very narrow. I'm 6'7", so I'm pretty tall. But even my wife, who's pretty short, had to hands and knees it, till you're in the middle of it. And I always remember thinking at the time that we're not in the middle. Like, the thing is that big. Like, again, I'm 6'7", and the bricks are taller than me, right? So it's a sight to behold when you're standing at it. But the distance that we went, because we were going up, right, upstairs, and then kind of up this ladder thing, and then you're crawling for a while, doesn't seem to me like it was like the middle of it. I remember thinking that at the time. Right. And I also remember thinking the tour guides are just tour guides. They're not telling us the truth about the history of this stuff. They're just like giving us some like runaround, because why not, right? But I remember being like, this is an experience that I think if people who are interested in that part of the work can do, should do, because the scope is just, the scope of it. It's like insane just how big the bricks are, and how like there's no circulation in the inside. So it's like really muggy and hot, and you're like breathing your own farts a second ago. Yeah. It's a cool experience. That I think if you can do, you should do. And if you do know somebody who can get you around the back door so you can see what's underneath, call them.
Right. What I want to know is this, though. Because I don't just walk into rooms that I don't know what's in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Pyramids or not.
Right.
We ain't been in there in thousands of years. I don't know what's in there now. This shit ain't 3,500 BC no more. I want to know, is it a being in there that shouldn't be on the planet that's hiding in there or something? Because what the fuck is really trafficking these kids? And then the government's got secret space programs going on. Secret space programs going on. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on them, but America got one and China got one. So who really doing the organ harvesting? So to me, like I said, motherfuckers got the evolution theory. That may have never been proven. That wasn't never proven. But people still believe that. This is my theory. My theory is, the government is selling people to aliens. That's what the fuck I believe. I don't fuck with them like that.
And you talk about all this in your Otten University?
Yeah, this shit been talked about for years. This shit, I've been talking about that.
They call it the Treaty of, 1933 or whatever?
Yeah, but I feel like that's been going on even longer than that. This shit been going on for thousands of years. Like, I feel like aliens go to different planets and they steal people.
Brother YP, how many times have you been abducted?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Did you? Okay, so I have a buddy who's saying that his connections are telling him that aliens are not coming with evil intents. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, not all of them. I know the ones that I dealt with, they asked me my permission.
That's exactly right.
They asked me my permission. Yeah, so I feel like that's very important to note.
That's true.
Because some people have
I will
experiences where they
wager.
say they didn't have no permission. And
That's
they don't
true.
have, like, I didn't have a bad experience. I remember what happened. I was in my cell. I was in Wyoming motherfucking correction. I was in Walden goddamn correctional facility. And I think I was on golf unit. I remember where the fuck I was at, or Delta or golf or one of them bitches. And I used to meditate every night. But I still remember the meditation I did. I could do that shit right now, but I ain't did it since because I've been scared. But long story short, I know a piece of it was I slowed my heart rate down to the point where my awareness of my physical touch being on the bed began to dissipate. And it was like I was no longer in physical contact with my body. I remember just being a breath. I ain't never did that shit since then, though. I've been scared. But long story short, I did that shit. I did that shit. And I got fucking abducted. I remember that shit. It's like my soul left my body. I don't know. But goddamn, I remember I was laying on the table, face down on the table like this. But my soul was above my goddamn body. And goddamn, I was looking down at myself. And it was like 4 or 5 beings around me. It was like 4 or 5 beings around me. And goddamn, I remember I could look in every direction you heard, but I couldn't look to the right. Whatever was on the right, it was like just outside my peripheral.
But he was like the leader, you said, right? He was like the leader.
It was the captain. It wasn't the leader. It said it was the captain.
Okay.
It didn't say it was the leader. It said it was the captain. Okay. But it was a masculine being. But it didn't look like none of us on here. It was like a frequency formed being. I don't know. But goddamn, it was telling me telepathically, and it was like gray. I remember it was like gray, but it wasn't like what you think a gray alien. It was like I don't know, but it was like silvery gray. And the whole room was like a silvery spoon. And I remember I asked them certain questions, and they wouldn't. They wasn't completely ignoring me, but they wouldn't answer questions that would specifically identify them. I remember that scared the fuck out of me, but they didn't hurt me though. But they didn't tell me where the fuck fully they was from. But they just said, "We fixing you." When I asked them, "What are you doing to me?" They was like, "We fixing you." And I remember it was whatever the beings was doing. You know, I've been told I got an electrical upgrade. That, you know, that might have been true, but whatever the beings was doing, I remember they was tapping my 33rd vertebrae, and it kind of, the best way I can explain it is like when you take 2 wires and you touch them and they be sparking. That's the best way I can explain it. And I remember it was like, let's say you turning up the volume on a speaker, and we going from 1 to 10 of pain. The pain started at 1, then it just started slowly going to 10. But I remember as it was increasing, I just kept going like, trying to resist it. And the beings would pause in between the pain increasing, and they would ask me like, "Are you all right?" But I remember kept trying to be, I ain't gonna say I was tough or not, but I remember kept trying to be tougher than I was. I kept saying like, "Yeah, I could take it." And I remember my pain just kept increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. And then it got to the point where I couldn't withstand the electrical shock no more. And then I remember my soul just came back in my body, and I came back.
When you came back, did you feel like you could download information, just like, or you were able to just think differently?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But they say but I channeled the beings before, but they say I was already smart, so they just basically strengthened my nervous system so I could process all of the information that I already know faster.
Okay.
So my question is, how do we know that from an intent standpoint, that's not any different than what, say, the U.S. government did with these injections, right? Because everybody agreed to do it. They asked, "Hey, listen, we think you should get this, but do you want this?"
Well, the difference between that I would say would be, my experience has not caused me any physical harm or injury.
That's fair.
My experience actually made me a better person, because I'm afraid to say it right now, but certain things that happened in my life before, you know what I'm saying? I'm scared to say it. I'm scared to say it. I'm scared to say it. But I killed people before. So my experience changed my life to make me a better person. My shit ain't give me no goddamn, it ain't give me no blood clots or no brain aneurysms, or it didn't cause me any bodily harm. I ain't never died behind it, or I ain't never killed nobody or tried to kill nobody behind it. my experience turned me into a very righteous man. I barely leave a goddamn house. I'm damn near scared to go the fuck outside because my experience taught me that you supposed to be tending to the earth like it's a garden. You're not supposed to be fucking it up. I don't even litter. I don't even kill bugs, except for mosquitoes, because I don't think they natural anyway.
Right.
But for the most part,
neither.
my experience scared the fuck out of me.
So are you sure you want to have a pool stripper party on June 3rd through 5th? I mean,
Listen, I'm classy though. I'm classy though. I'm classy. It ain't gonna be ratchet. I'm classy. But yeah, I'm very sure because I had a listen, Crystal. Listen, don't play with me. But listen though, I had a party here last time, and my neighbors said they didn't even know it was a party. I don't be wilding. Like you could take me to a wine and cheese joint. I'm about to start throwing yacht parties and shit. So it's gonna be a stripper lingerie party, but it ain't gonna be crazy though. It's gonna be fire. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
That's
all right, but no
guns,
guns, and no shroom tea, no mushroom tea, no guns.
No mushroom tea. It's gonna be a little bit of reefer, a little bit of wine. The ladies say they like tequila, so I had tequila present last time. That's true. I had it in the room. The ladies say they like it, but nothing crazy. It might be a shroom. I don't know. It might be a shroom in here. But like I said, listen, I did shrooms I did a lot of things when I was a young lad. You heard? It wasn't no shroom. Whatever I ain't gonna.
It was some like ancient government secret tea.
Whatever the fuck that was, that wasn't no normal stuff. And like I said, my thing is, give me permission. Give me the chance to give you permission before you just give me something. Don't just give me nothing. You feel me? Because I don't do that to women. I don't want no woman doing that to me. I wouldn't just give Crystal Tini nothing and don't tell her what's in it. I wouldn't just do that. I don't want no woman doing that to me. It almost got you shot. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it almost got you shot. But the only reason like I said, the only reason that experience went that way is because I got drugged before. I'm not gonna lie. I got drugged by a black woman who went to the feds for saying open season on a motherfucking cracker on the internet. Now, like I said, I don't know her personally, but when I did a lecture in Atlanta one time, I used to let people vend. I always supported black business. And even if I didn't like your product, I still brought it. I brought one thing from all my vendors and all my events, every event, to support the community. So I said to say, I used to let people vend food, but I got drugged in Atlanta, and that's why I stopped letting people vend food. But I said that to say that experience helped me with this one because I felt like I didn't been in this situation before, so I could think my way through it. So I said it to say this. It's going to be a stripper party. It's going to be a pool party during the day and a stripper / lingerie / video game party during the night. We're going to watch memes and all kind of fun shit over here and play games. But my first one wouldn't have went that. My first party didn't go crazy either. So I just want people to know that when they hear me throwing a party, I've never had an incident at any of my events. All my events go smooth. And I plan for this one to go smooth. It's not nothing on my mind that I haven't already known. I'm not crazy. And I just want people to know that. I just want to say that.
And the people should know that Brother Young Pharaoh is STD negative based on his last.
Oh, yeah, they got to know that too.
They got to know that.
What I'm saying? The money clean. It's everything clean. I'm a holy man.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, brother, wait. We can take like 5 minutes here. I want to ask you, if I could just, Crystal, for the people who looked up to you in the past and then they felt like, oh man, what happened? Whatever happened last year, I think a lot of people are still kind of hurt that
I ain't hurt them. I ain't
not you, but they looked up to you as a leader, man. And then with everything, all the crazy shit you went through, I think some people felt like there was a shift in the force within their soul when they saw their leader acting the way he did.
Listen, I ain't shifted. I got drugged and I subconsciously damn near was calling out for help. I said a lot of shit I ain't even mean. You feel me?
Is there anything you want to say to your supporters just to kind of make peace with everything?
To my genuine supporters, I love y'all for holding me down. For my genuine supporters. And things happen. Yeah. Things happen. But I just want to say this. Yeah, it happens. But I want to say this, though. This is why you should not take things from strangers. This is why I normally don't take things from strangers. Because you could be drugged. I want to say this to my supporters. If it would have been a stranger, I would have never been drugged. I want to say that because when I did have a stranger come over my house, she had to put her phone in that goddamn drawer. And no disrespect, she wasn't in danger, but I had a gun on me the whole fucking time. And she kept asking me, why you got that gun on me? And I kept saying, excuse my language, because bitch, I don't know you. And it's all kind of shit over here, and you could be trying to set me up. So I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm keeping something there because I don't know you. But the only reason this happened this time is because it was somebody that I knew for years. And I trusted him.
Okay, now this is very important, man, because I someone Butterscotch 914. I'm gonna ask this question. The last live that we did, I think one of the moves that you made that probably was pretty detrimental to your career last year was you went off on the black women. Do you want to issue an apology and just make it right? Come on, man. I mean, this is your chance right now. We got 500 people watching this shit, you know?
Oh my Lord. I mean, I would issue one, but I just want to say what I'm apologizing for.
Just being disrespectful, because you were talking about women disrespectfully, Pharaoh, and you can't lump everybody, like maybe experiences that you've had with women make you feel a certain way, but maybe it's the women that you're attracting.
You're right. Listen,
not all women, you know what I'm saying?
I only been dealing with black women the whole time. And I want to say this to black women. To those of you who my anger may have been misdirected at, I genuinely do apologize.
There you go. Yeah.
I genuinely do apologize. But for those who my anger was rightfully so for, I want them to have a beautiful, successful, blossoming life. I never wish bad on nobody. And I still don't wish bad on none of them. I wish good on them. But for things I should apologize for, I send my energy to that. For things that I shouldn't apologize for, I don't send my energy to that. I think that's the fairest way I can apologize to black women right now.
No, I hear that.
I think that's
not
fair.
Everybody deserves an apology. There are some really bad, evil women out there. Like, there really are some really devious people that just want to bring men down. Like, there are people like that. So I totally get that. As a female, I get that. I'm on your side with that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And lastly, brother, we got like 2 minutes, but for the people who want to support you, what's the best way? Follow your IG, your website. What do we do?
Well, I was just deleted off TikTok again. My YouTube is going again. I'm not making another one. For those who want to support me, y'all can support me at the link in the description. Subscribe to my Twitch. Subscribe to Iden University, which is the #1 black university in the world. I'm undefeated in debates for the last 5 years. And a Harvard professor didn't want to debate me. Even he ran on me, and that's a fact. I just want to say that. You feel me? But go subscribe to Iden University and become a genius today. Period. And then also go stream my Darth Maul song, because I'm about to see about going in the Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I'm about to see about going in the Star Wars movie. So go stream my Darth Maul song, and I'm about to go run the bag up and build a bank and build a nation.
Pharaoh, what about Telegram? You're not on Telegram?